When Nicole Kidman walked out under the bright lights of Paramount Studios, the crowd fell silent for a moment. Cameras flashed, music played, and for a few seconds, it felt like time itself stopped. She wasn't just walking a runway that night, she was walking into a new chapter of her life. This was Vogue World, Hollywood, one of fashion's biggest and most glamorous nights. And when Nicole appeared to open the show, it wasn't just about a designer dress or a photo op moment. It was about power, reinvention, and maybe even quiet revenge. Because while the world saw a shining actress dressed in black satin, few realized the deeper meaning behind that moment and why it felt so symbolic after everything Nicole had just been through. The night began like a dream from another era. Nicole, now 58, walked into the legendary Paramount Studios lot in Los Angeles, a place that's seen decades of cinematic history, and she looked every bit the part of an old Hollywood queen. She wore a black draped satin gown by Chanel, designed by Mathieu Blasi. It shimmered like liquid under the stage lights, sculpted perfectly to her frame, and covered in small black satin camellias, Chanel's signature flower. To the casual viewer, it was stunning. But to fashion historians, that dress told a story. It was inspired by the gown worn by the legendary Rita Hayworth in the 1946 classic Gilda, the same film that defined Hollywood seduction and heartbreak. The same film that turned Hayworth into a symbol of power wrapped in softness, a woman who controlled the room even when she was breaking apart inside. And just like Rita Hayworth did decades ago, Nicole performed to the same song, Put the Blame on Mame. A haunting, seductive tune about a woman who takes the blame for everything the world throws at her, but still stands tall. In that moment, as Nicole moved across the stage, the parallels were impossible to ignore. Both women, icons in their own time, known for their grace, beauty, and unshakable poise. Both women who loved deeply, who were adored publicly, and who faced heartbreak that played out in front of millions. This wasn't just a fashion tribute, it was a message. Because here's what makes this moment truly powerful. Just a few weeks before Vogue World, Nicole Kidman quietly filed for divorce from a husband of 19 years, country star Keith Urban. The couple that so many saw as Hollywood's perfect pair had finally split, with Nicole citing irreconcilable differences. 19 years of love, family, and fame, gone in a few pages of paperwork. But if anyone expected Nicole to retreat or crumble, they were wrong. Instead, she walked straight into the spotlight again, dressed like a woman from a golden age, channeling an icon who refused to be broken. That's why this runway appearance wasn't just fashion, it was poetry. Behind the smiles, the red lipstick, and the dazzling lights, this was a woman saying, "I'm still here, I'm still me, and I'm not done yet." People close to Nicole say that after the separation, she focused on what she called the two things that matter most, her family and her work. And she isn't exaggerating. Nicole has a schedule that would exhaust most actors half her age. She has 6 television series lined up, including her big return to Big Little Lies, the HBO drama that made her a television powerhouse. She's also reprising her role in the beloved Practical Magic sequel, a fan favorite film that many see as symbolic of rebirth and sisterhood. Those close to her say she's keeping it positive, focusing on new beginnings rather than regrets. She believes everything happens for a reason, one source said. And maybe that's why she looked so alive that night at Paramount, because she wasn't performing sadness, she was performing strength. Her first appearance after the divorce was on October 4th at the AmFAR Charity Gala in Dallas, where she took the stage to present an award to her friend and Lioness collaborator, Taylor Sheridan. Yes, the same creative mind behind Yellowstone. She looked composed, professional, and radiant. No drama, no breakdown, just a woman doing what she does best, showing up with grace. Then, barely 48 hours later, she was in Paris for Fashion Week. There, she was officially introduced as Chanel's newest brand ambassador. Another power move that spoke volumes. Her look this time. Completely different. Gone was the dramatic black gown. Instead, she chose a more casual yet effortlessly stylish look. Cashmere jeans, a loose-fitted button-up, and new soft bangs her hairstylist described as fresh and 70s French vibe. She looked younger, lighter, free. Even her daughter Sunday shared behind-the-scenes film photos on Instagram, showing Nicole laughing and smiling, a kind of happiness that seemed unfiltered and genuine. Fans flooded the comments saying things like, "She's glowing, and this is the happiest she's looked in years." But Nicole has never been one to share her emotions through headlines. She shares them through moments, quiet, intentional moments like these. In a recent interview with Harper's Bazaar, she opened up about her children being the true source of her purpose. "My children give me purpose," she said. "They remind me that I'm their protector, their guide, and that no matter what happens, there's always a safe place to grow up in." She spoke softly but firmly, like someone who has made peace with life's unpredictability. Nicole is a mother of 4, 2 daughters with Keith Urban, Sunday Rose, and Faith Margaret, and 2 older children, Bella and Connor, from her marriage to Tom Cruise. Her life, in many ways, has always been about balance, between love and work, between private pain and public grace. That calmness you see now, it's not new, it's earned. But let's go back to that Vogue World moment, because the symbolism there runs deeper than most people realize. The event itself was a massive celebration of Hollywood history and fashion's role in storytelling. Vogue World first launched in New York in 2022, then expanded to London and Paris before finally arriving in Hollywood this year. The concept was simple but brilliant. Reinterpret legendary movie looks through modern fashion houses. Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Miu Miu, Marc Jacobs, all contributing pieces that celebrated cinema's timeless glamour. And of all people, Vogue chose Nicole Kidman to open the show. Think about that for a second. In a city built on reinvention, they chose a woman who's reinvented herself more times than most stars ever could. She's been the ingenue, the Oscar winner, the misunderstood wife, the powerhouse producer, and now, the comeback queen. Her choice to embody Rita Hayworth wasn't coincidence. Hayworth herself was a woman who lived through public heartbreaks, studio control, and personal battles, yet remained one of Hollywood's most graceful figures. Nicole channeling that energy at this stage of her life, that storytelling at its finest. Her look that night, the red lip, the smoky eyes, the soft blonde curls, was pure old Hollywood perfection. But the message was modern. It wasn't nostalgia for the past. It was a reminder that power can wear elegance, that reinvention can come in silence, in fabric, in confidence. When she walked, she didn't need to smile or pose, she just was, and that was enough. Even the event itself carried meaning. All proceeds from Vogue World Hollywood were donated to the Entertainment Community Fund, helping costume designers and film workers affected by the recent California wildfires. So yes, it was a night of fashion and fame. But it was also a night of giving back, of unity, of resilience, themes that matched Nicole's personal story perfectly. Of course, fans and social media couldn't stop talking afterward. On TikTok, fashion creators called it Nicole Kidman's soft launch into her single era. Others claimed Chanel's ambassador deal was finalized after her separation as part of a larger image shift. Some even speculated that her Rita Hayworth tribute was her subtle goodbye letter to Keith Urban, a symbolic act of moving on. None of that's confirmed, of course. But online theories spread like wildfire, and Nicole, as always, stayed silent, letting people wonder. And maybe that's the secret to her charm. She never chases the conversation, she is the conversation. Because if you think about it, Nicole Kidman has lived through almost every version of fame possible. She's been the rising star from Australia. She's been Tom Cruise's young wife during the height of his superstardom. She's been the heartbroken divorcee finding herself again. She's been the Oscar-winning actress. And now, she's the living definition of longevity, someone who keeps evolving without ever losing herself. To every phase, she's carried that same poise, that quiet strength that doesn't shout but still commands attention. And at this point, she doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. That's what makes her story so powerful. Her Vogue appearance wasn't a random comeback stunt. It was part of a carefully written narrative, one where a woman chooses to turn pain into performance and endings into evolution. There's something almost poetic about it. Rita Hayworth once said, "Men go to bed with Gilda, but they wake up with me." In a way, Nicole's doing the same, reminding the world that behind every perfect image is a human being, complex, scarred, and endlessly reinventing herself. Today, as she steps into her next era, single, confident, and unstoppable, Nicole Kidman stands as proof that age, heartbreak, or change can't dim a woman who knows her worth. Her story isn't about loss, it's about renewal. Because sometimes, the most powerful statement isn't a speech or a song, it's a simple walk down a runway, in a dress that says everything without saying a word. And maybe that's the beauty of Nicole Kidman's magic. She doesn't need drama. She doesn't need to explain, she just walks, and the world listens. So tell me, do you think Nicole's Vogue World appearance was just a glamorous fashion tribute, or was it her way of sending a message to the world, and maybe even to her ex? Because one thing's for sure, this wasn't the end of Nicole Kidman's story. It was the beginning of her most powerful chapter yet.